Welcome everyone to Tech Broadcast. This is going to be my second installment of my holiday builds. What I've actually went and done is pick 3 different price points, $500, $1,000, and then $2,000, and just built systems around that price point, systems that I would personally choose if I'm mainly focused on gaming. As you'll see, when the price goes up, we're on the $1,000 system now, you'll be able to do much more with this system than you could with the previous system. With that being mentioned, let's jump in. Some of these components you could swap in and out if you want, and I will give a few recommendations on things I may want to upgrade or not upgrade, depending on what deals are out there. This is focused on 1080p and 1440p gaming. You will easily be able to get into 1440p gaming. You're not going to be able to game on 4K on this, at least not newer titles, maybe some older ones. Let's jump in. Let's see what we got here. $1,000 price point. Let's start with the processor. I went the Intel Core i5-4460. Yes, this is an older, a little bit older processor. It's the Z87 platform, but it's around $180. It's going to get us 4 cores, which is really important for some of the newer games out there. You really need that 4-core design, and you're not really going to need the hybrid threading, especially if you're not going to be doing any type of major video editing. So this is the processor I would actually choose. I actually went and just picked the cheapest 4-core Intel processor I could get. AMD really doesn't have an equivalent processor for this, so that's why I went with the Intel on this side. And if we want to jump up and get an i7 with hyper-threading in the future, maybe an unlocked processor, we can do that. So, but this is what I would get. For gaming wise, this is probably the best deal out there for 180 bucks. Watch for deals on these because they may come down a little bit in price, but that's going to vary depending on what happens on Black Friday. For the cooler, I went the Noctua NH-D14 for 75 bucks. It's the best cooler out there for the price point. It's not going to be quite as nice looking, I don't think, as like a liquid cooling system, but Noctua makes some of the best coolers out there. You're going to get some good fans with it too, which is nice, and it's going to be really quiet, which is something that I personally like. And for the motherboard, I went with the MSI B85-G43. Yes, this is a non-overclocking motherboard. You're not going to be able to get a lot of overclock out of it, but it really doesn't matter for gaming. You're not going to get. You may get 1 or 2 frames per second at max if you do any heavy overclocking, but this is around 60 bucks. It's a really nice looking motherboard. It's got a little bit of red on it, so if that throws you off, there's a few other ones out there, but for the price point, this is the one I would get. It's going to have just about everything you need on it. So that's it. I actually just went with a cheaper motherboard. I'm not real big on buying really expensive motherboards. It's just not my style. I'm running an MSI cheap motherboard right now, and I haven't had any issues out of it. And I can get about the same overclocking I could with spending a couple $100 more and getting like an extreme Asus ROG motherboard. For the memory, I actually went with 16 gigabytes. I went with the Mushkin Enhanced Stealth series, and it's running at 2133 megahertz. It's DDR3. We still are on DDR3, but that's fine. For $87, that's an extremely good deal. This is really fast memory. It's low profile. It's all black, so it's going to be a little better pleasing. You'll be able to match components with it a little easier. But for the price point, for the overclocking that this already has on it, I would definitely pick that up. And then for the SSD, I went with the SanDisk Ultra 2. This is a 480 gigabyte SSD for 110 bucks. That is cheap. If you want to get something a little larger, you may look into the 960 gigabyte, which is actually a little better deal, but it's $200. So I went with the 480 to keep it in that $1,000 budget. But if you really want to bump it up, I would bump it up to 960 because you could put a ton of stuff on there and not have to worry about anything. It's not the fastest SSD out there, but you're not going to notice that much of a difference. A real fast SSD, you need to really be doing some pro stuff on it to justify purchasing it for that price point. And so now we need a little bit of hard drive space. So I went with the Hitachi. This is a 2 terabytes hard drive. Gets good reviews. 60 bucks. That's why I got it. It was the cheapest one I could find for 60 bucks. 2 terabyte. I wanted to throw a larger one in here, 3, 4, 5 terabyte. But I honestly think if you're getting closer to 4 or 5 terabyte storage and you're filling it up, you need to really look into NAS. But this could be great to throw some stuff on if you have some videos or files, or I don't know, a bunch of games. Maybe you have 50 games you're going to download. You're going to need something to put them on. For the graphics card, we went the EVGA GeForce GTX 970. This is a 4 gigabyte. This is the superclocked edition because I believe it's about the same price. It's actually way cheaper, so let's see if I can find it again. Maybe. There we go, 320 bucks. So you're gonna get it for 320 bucks. The 980s are coming down in price, so keep that in mind. But this is gonna be great for 1440p gaming. If you're mainly focused on 1440p gaming, this is the graphics card I would get. They really came down a lot in their price point, EVGA has. I don't know if they're trying to just get rid of cards, but you can overclock at almost the same point of a 980 and get that horsepower. If you want to look into maybe 390X, if you're on the AMD side of things, that's something to keep in mind. Or maybe even an older 290X, you may be able to actually get it a little cheaper, depending on the price point. The reason why I stuck with the NVIDIA card is because shadow play. It allows you to stream. It's basically like a little hardware, little video encoder inside the graphics card, and it works really well. If you're doing any type of streaming, this is the card I would actually get. And if you wanted to step up, head on over to EVGA's B stock. I did this in my other video. I'm gonna do it in this one. If you want to get a little beefier graphics card and you're okay with a 1-year warranty, we can get a 980 superclocked. Let's see, where are we at here? We can get a 980 superclock for $379, or you can get 970 for $260. So you're gonna save, 60, 70 bucks if you want to do that, if you're okay with the 1-year warranty. If not, this is the card I would choose. For the case, get a little nicer case with $1,000 budget. I went the Fractal Define R4. This is the one with the window because we got some nice looking components. So this is the best budget case out there, or not budget case. This is the best mid-grade case out there. There's some really nice Leon Lee cases if you want to spend a little more, but this is the case I would get for 80 bucks. It's extremely cheap. It's a very nice case. It's not too big either. That's one thing that I really like about it, is that it's not a very large case. It's well reviewed. That's what I would get. For the power supply, I actually just realized that this dropped a little bit in price, so I should have thrown it in my other system. But this is the XFX TS series. This is an 80 plus certified power supply. I don't believe it's modular. It is not modular. So that's something to keep in mind, but it's 45 bucks. So it's gonna get us some 80 plus gold, which is extremely efficient, and you could probably put 2 graphics cards in this if you wanted to do some Crossfire or SLI and not have any issues. And back to the B stock, and that's it. That puts our total at $1,012, and that's a pretty kick-ass system for that price point. That's what I would choose. You can swap these components in and out. Keep that in mind, that you can move these components in and out of your system depending on what you actually like. If you're on the AMD side of things, look into the 290, look into the 380X, look into the 390X. If you want to beef it up a little bit, look into the Fury cards, look into something along that lines. This stuff can be flipped in and out based on what you actually like. That's it, guys. See you guys next time. Now we get to go to the fun one, which is $2,000, which you can do a lot of cool stuff with $2,000.